Hi you guys, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I can't believe it, but this is already my last page kit for the Mix It Up page kits that I put together. It's another big picture, and so I have a bunch of scraps here, just different colored scraps in blue, yellow, and red. Reason being, it's a pretty neutral color except the page, except for the ESA, which is European Space Agency, and all these flags. So I'm getting my color inspiration from that and sort of the grays of the building. So it already has a, the photo is labeled, so I don't want to just cut that off. So I'm going to keep it this way with this white border. The main pieces of paper that I have are this one from my Luna, I think it's called Luna, paper pad, which is all constellation and moon and that kind of thing. I do have some ephemera pulled in addition to these colors. I also pulled, I had these I just got in a prize from Ginger's Corner, and those are the perfect colors to match what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use at least a couple of these, maybe just these star ones. Add those, and then these puffy stickers from Let's Go Anywhere Echo Park. There might be a few things on here that will coordinate. A few red things, like there's a phone, and this passport is cute. So might be a couple things on there. Not exactly the colorway that I'm using, but the red will work. All right, so this is hexagons on here. So I had written myself a note to look at hexagon and circle dies and punches. So I do have some circle punches sitting on my desk. And then I pulled out some dies to look at. I have some hexagon stitch dies. I also have some hexagon not stitched dies, but I might go ahead and do stitched. I have these banner pieces, which will probably be about the right size if I want to do banners at the top. I have some stitched circle dies, and I have some stitched stars. So, and then I also have these that are like pockets, but they also, oh look, they look just like banners coming down from the top. So instead of flags across, I think I'm going to do banners, probably across about the top half, I don't know, and then maybe up from the bottom. So I'm having to re-record this because I'm getting that popping noise through my microphone again, so hopefully this will come out a little cleaner. So I decide that I'm going to switch these two mats to have the gray first and then the red. And I like that better. And then, because that red piece is too short, I'm going to add this hexagonal border strip that I found in my stash. And you won't notice those seams. I'm going to cover one of them, and the other one you just won't notice it. So that's my plan, and then I'll back it with some of these scraps. Trim out, cut that branding strip off, or the top of it wasn't really a branding strip. And then map my photo.
I did not bother to gut that paper since it's pretty old. It's probably from 2004, 2005. I don't know. It's pretty old. Old stash. You can see it's the old Creative Memories paper where it had the old style strips and triangles that you cut that Creative Memories used to do. And they're not 12 by 12. They're 11 and a half by 12. I don't know why they thought their 12 by 12 papers should be that. So this I'm going to position so that it's centered on the paper. And I thought I was going to have to cut off some of those hexagons, but it ends up being just barely not opening that hole on both sides. So that was pretty lucky there. So it's really thin, but it's not completely open, which means I can back it. And I will eventually, through this video, back, I don't know if I put it on video or not, but I will back those with different colors. And that will be the main color at the bottom of the photo. And, you know, I decided I'm not going to put a title on this page just because it's got the event at the bottom of it and I've got the ESA at the top. So I'm just going to decorate it. I don't really, you know, I couldn't come up with a good title. You know, international training, that's not exciting. You know, work get together, that's not exciting. So I do have a couple of pre-made embellishments. Some I like and work out and some do not. I end up not using these little tags, even though they're the right colors. They just weren't the right feel for what I was doing. And then some things I just decided were the wrong color tone. Like that little globe, I think I end up not using because it's black and white and it just wasn't right with the grays. So I'll use this other little globe instead. I'm going to go off and make some of these pockets. And I thought I did hexagons as well. I do. So I'm just going to do a variety out of all these scraps. And I'm back. So, and then I'm just going to create layers for the top right and bottom left. My tendency is to go top left, bottom right. So I'm trying to mix it up. Mostly because the title is on the other side, is justified to the right. So here I'm just using a circle punch. It's just the right size to fit under those hexagons. And this punch struggles a bit to go through thick papers because it's so, it's probably old and pretty dull. It's well loved. My little Creative Memories circle punch. You can see how much force I'm having to do. So just trying to take a variety of papers that I am using for the other things and then mix them up. So there are a couple of pattern papers, one with that chevron, glitter chevron, and then one with little kind of arrows on it. And the others are just cardstock. Oh, I do end up taking a couple of gray ones and using the same gray paper that I matted that photo with, just to have another pattern paper. And it's time to just glue those pieces together. So I had already adhered this down, but I use repositionable tape, thank goodness. So it wasn't too hard for me to do this. And backing a border like this isn't too hard when you can cut a bunch of the right shape and not worry about it. Goes pretty fast. And I think that looks pretty cute. And I already had adhesive on it, so it was just a matter of inserting it back in there. And I start out there and realize I need to do top right. So I double layer some of these to give them a little more dimension and make them a little more flag-like, maybe more like boat flags than country flags, but I'm kind of happy with it. And just trying to make sure I have all of the colors represented. So the bottom one is a little different since I'm doing an embellishment cluster instead of a banner cluster. And I'm just fussing around trying to figure out what all I want to do. So this one's going to get 3 layers. So just a mix of those little pocket or banner. But I like to think they're pockets. Pockets and hexagons up there. And more hexagons, I think, on the bottom. And a few stars. I'm just mixing and matching and trying to make, trying to find some balance, if you will. I do have that word explore there, which I guess you could consider kind of a title. It's not that big, but my rationale there was this was a group of people concerned with International Space Station training from across the world. And so we're training people to explore. So that was my rationale in using that word. And y'all, during that meeting, it was in the summertime, and it was very warm. We're in Cologne, Germany, which is kind of near Frankfurt. I think we flew in and out of Frankfurt. And it was very warm, and buildings in Germany are not air conditioned for a heat wave. And so our rooms, and they had all that glass because they want as much light as possible and warmth in the winter. And so it was stifling, and they tried to bring in extra fans and portable air conditioners, but we were so warm during the days. So it would be, you'd have to step out of the room sometimes just to cool off a little and breathe, which is not how they may have 2 weeks of really hot weather in Germany each summer, but this past summer we were in Berlin and it got really warm. One of the days we were there, 2 of the days probably, it was pretty warm there. But the days prior to that, we were up further north in Germany and we were freezing, and it was cold and rainy and windy because we were up on the coast. All right, so I think I'm finally ready to commit everything. And I'm really just connecting the top of that paper to the photo. It sort of fits perfectly. And I'm getting that little globe in. So I do have a few pieces of pre-made ephemera, but not a ton. Just a few little pieces. And still making little flags. And I did do 5 flags up there. So nice odd number. So last finishing touches, I think. And I'm just looking at what items do I have left? Do I want to add them? And I decide against it. So let's pick it up and take some close-up looks at those little embellishment clusters. I didn't pop a lot of things up, just the titles, just to keep the dimension to a minimum. My books are huge. So thanks for watching, you guys. Come back for more. I'm going to build some new page kits.